Well, good morning on a Monday morning. Another week about to start, and it's time for a little Fleetwood Mac about Monday morning. Let's hear that. Is it looking fine for you? Did you have a great weekend this weekend? Did you take trick or treating by chance? How did your weekend go? But I want to share a couple of thoughts, and it's not about the weekend, rather, it's about the coming week. And what are you going to do to start the week? Let me ask you a question. What's at the top of your mind right now? What is the one thing that you could accomplish that will make a dedicated difference in your life or in your business? One of the books that I've read before is a book entitled The One Thing. And this is written by a gentleman by the name of Gary Keller. He was assisted by another gentleman, Jay Papasan. And the tagline for this says, "The surprisingly simple truths behind extraordinary results." And that's so typical. There is a simple solution to everything that we encounter. Over the weekend, one of the things that Cheryl and I did, we actually took a little road trip yesterday and we got out. We went down to a nearby lake, had a nice brunch there on the lakeside yesterday morning. And from there, we went to a state park and went all the way to the top of the mountain, took a wonderful view looking out over the valleys and the lakes below, seeing some of the colors of the season then from there. And then as we were coming back, there was a place I'd always wanted to stop and take a tour. And what it was a distillery. And the distillery was in an old prison in Mount Pleasant, North Carolina. So what happened was this prison was closed down in 2011. It was bought by an investor. The property was bought from the North Carolina Department of Corrections, and they've moved this distillery in there. So it was a really interesting tour of the distillation process. But more important and the bigger thing I got was touring this prison facility. And as we looked in there, this prison had been closed down, and the reason why, it had become overcrowded, outdated. It just wasn't the facility that you would use today, such as there were dorm rooms there, and the dorms were designed to hold between 50 and 60 prisoners. However, they had actually been housing 100 prisoners per each of these. But as we looked at this, one of the things was we went through the corrections system of many years ago where they had hot boxes, where there was solitaire and other things about this prison system that was there. And it was really a great afternoon touring something that was really interesting. But see, that's what often happens in our lives. Our lives many times become a prison where we are trapped by our thoughts or possibly the thoughts of others that want to restrict what we're doing. They want to put a really big damper on our dreams. You ever been through that? Where somebody just wants to put a damper on your dreams? Believe me, I've been through this many, many times in my life that somebody just seems like they want to put a they want to create this lid that I can get past. So here's what you got to do. Never, never let someone put a lid on top of you. Never let someone decide where you can go to in your life and in this world. What you've got to do is set up your systems, your dreams, your path, and build a strategy that suits you, a strategy that you can follow to deliver to you your dreams, not somebody else's dreams. It's one of the biggest problems we've got in this world today is someone else wants to tell us where we should go, what we should become. They may want to entice us to build a business that we really don't want to build. You see, that's what every individual needs to do. And if you haven't done this, I'm going to highly encourage you to think for a minute, where would you like to be in 3 years? If you could look at your business 3 years from now, what would it look like? What would it look like to make you happy? You see, because to be happy, you got to have satisfaction. And here's something I know. If you want to know the true definition of failure when you own a business, is to not be happy, to not be satisfied. to own a business that doesn't bring you the satisfaction you're looking for. Here at CBC, we often have conferences and conversations with people that want to sell their business. And you know what often happens? They build a business that they're not happy in any longer. They build a business that takes too much of their time, not delivering to them the dreams that they really want in this life. So that's what I'm encouraging you to do. In the coming week, in the coming week ahead, what can you do? What's the one thing that you can do in your life to stop the madness? What's the one thing that if you could accomplish, that things would be better? You see, that's one of the issues we often face. We look at all these different things around us that are giving us confusion, giving us headaches, maybe even building ulcers and other types of issues. Maybe it's the present supply chain that's out there. Maybe it's the lack of suitable employees to go to work on your team. Maybe it's the headaches of trying to satisfy your customer who's more demanding each and every day, and you just can't seem to provide them service in the amount of time that they're looking for. These are all the things that you need to put through your mind because here's the issue: you can't solve them all at once. You really can't do it. And with that, I'm going to advise you to look at another book. This is a book that a buddy of mine wrote, and his name is Al Levy, and it's called The Seven Power Contractor. And Al and I have such firm beliefs in systems, in things to be better. Good morning, Larry. How are you doing today, my friend? Good to see you out there today. Glad you could join me. But you got to keep looking forward. What can you do to accomplish things this week? What's the one thing that rises to the top? What's the number one challenge? And that's what I challenge you to do this week. Conceive what that number one thing is that you can do to make a dedicated difference to deliver you satisfaction and happiness, not just in business, but in your life. And with that, hey, have a great week. My name's Jerry Eisenhower. Our company is CV Success Group. And what we do is we work with people just like you across the United States in various niches in the home service industries. Reach out to us anytime. We'd love to talk to you. We may just have those answers that you've been looking for. And we got a great team of people here to help you get there. So, talk to you later. You have a great, great week.